cutscenes, morphs, and design improvements to the blocks so they blend in with the game. And that's all in the new update for my add-on, Poppy Playtime, version 1.04. Let's start with the cutscene. There's a wounded Huggy and a door. A new object has appeared. When we place it, it aligns perfectly, and a barrier appears to block our path. It looks pretty cool. We approach the door in survival mode, and the cutscene begins. When it ends, a wounded Huggy Wuggy crawls out. After that, we're left with a door that's half open. By the way, we've added it as a separate door. It looks great. And by the way, I fixed the levers animation. Here's what it looks like. Next, let's move on to Huggy and Kissy. Now all the broken characters can climb into the vents. These animations are an improvement in and of themselves. We've also fixed an issue where characters would get stuck in the vents. By the way, for those who didn't know, if Poppy is next to Kissy and you hit Poppy, she climb onto Kissy. I've changed the catnap egg and added the nightmare catnap and evil Nami eggs. Now, when they die, they don't turn into their evil versions. I've added red smoke. If you walk into it without a gas mask, you'll feel nauseous and take damage. Let's take a closer look at the new morphs. The Huggy Wuggy morph we have walking animations. In first-person view, we can see our hands. We have an item that lets us turn into a statue. As a statue, we can't move. In first-person view, we see one hand because the other is raised. We use the item and become a regular Huggy again. We have a screamer item. It pulls in nearby mobs and deals 20 damage to them. And the main feature, we can crawl through ventilation shafts. And he crouches when the passage gets narrow. We have an item that turns us into a broken Huggy. He also has a scream. We can still turn into a statue. In first-person view, It looks cool that half of our arm is missing and a bow is in its place. We can also crawl through ventilation shafts. The next morph is Kissy Missy, a beautiful pink girl. She has arms in first-person view too. She crouches in small spaces. And she crawls through vents. You can scream. You can transform into a broken version. In first-person view, her arm is burned. And you can still crawl through vents and scream. By the way, in the middle of the video, I decided to improve the animation a bit, and now Huggy crouches better in the 3-block passage, and his head no longer gets cut off. I also fixed the animation for the Nightmare Huggy. Remember the door with the hands? Now you can open it with either hand. Previously, the blocks didn't blend well with Minecraft or with each other. That's why I redesigned them, and now they're better suited for building. Before, they looked like this, didn't blend well, and couldn't be combined. But now they can be combined very nicely. All tiles have been redrawn. Now they look more like tiles and use a new color palette. The old bricks were very dirty, but now they're prettier and have new colors. These blocks have also been changed. These are the old blocks, and here are the new versions with a new color palette. Dark tiles, now they look nice too. Here's what the large tile blocks looked like before, and here's how they look now, smoother and with better colors. A new block has been added, a large purple tile with pink stripes, used for flooring. I've improved the block sorting, now each one has its own group. The new fence blocks on the white wall, this is the vanilla white block, this is the top of the fence, and this is the bottom of the fence. All of this creates a fence pattern on the white wall. Moving on, the gray conveyor belt is now darker than it was before. And here are all the other conveyor belts before and after. They now blend better with the overall color palette. A new toy for Mom's Kid, a yellow toy like this. We've added a few new blocks with a purple border, and they come in several colors to match different concrete shades. There are 2 new wall pattern blocks featuring toys. You can mix and match these blocks randomly to create something interesting. The barrels have had their textures redrawn. Now they look better and aren't as dirty as before. The cubes also have new textures, and these are noticeable in different states as well. Well guys, the video has come to an end. You can download the add-on in the description. And I want to briefly talk about plans for the future. I'd like to try to improve the grappling hook so it actually latches onto objects. Basically, make more new cutscenes and more tapes, but for that, I need to tweak the TVS a bit at the code level. Well, that's all from me. Please like the video, and thanks for your support. If you'd like, there's a link in the description to my PayPal where you can support me financially. See you all soon.